over the Vikings. Matthew Stafford and the Lions have lost their last 7. Start from their own 33-yard line. Michael LaShore in the backfield. As Stafford hands it off to LaShore. And he will try and fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, it has been a disappointing season for the Detroit Lions. And this offensive line has done a heck of a job, because really it's been just the passing game, and that puts a lot of pressure on these guys when you're backpedaling all afternoon long. Calvin Johnson, I don't know what else you can say that hasn't already been said. It's just unbelievable what he's been able to do this season, and also he's really been the only threat on the offensive side of the ball, and he's still put up those great numbers.
Lions with their 2, 3, and 4 wideouts all on injured reserve. So Johnson has been a one-man show as LaShore takes it out to the 39-yard line for a gain of 6 as we check out the 5th-ranked Bears defense.
And a lot of pressure on these guys up front. That's the way that this Detroit or this Chicago defense is built. Again, Brian Urlacher did not make it back, so we've got Nick Roach in the middle, Geno Hayes at the outside linebacker position. Chris Conte also out. One of the things that Lovey has always talked about is the play of his safeties. And look at those 2 Pro Bowl corners on the defense for the Chicago Bears.
Well, the Bears without 2 key starters on defense. 3rd down and 4. 2 tight ends for the Lions. Stafford looking to throw for the first time. Gets away from Melton. And then fires out of bounds. So the Lions go 3 and out on their opening possession. Goose talked about Jay Cutler moments ago. Cutler leads the Bears offense onto the field for the first time.
And I agree with what Tony said. You know, Jay Cutler has had a heck of a year this season. And this offense has been very up and down. It's been inconsistent throughout the year. The offensive line is one of the big reasons why, and Jay Cutler has been one of the constants. He and Brandon Marshall have been excellent this season.
113 receptions for Marshall, new franchise record. Matt Forte in the backfield. Cutler with loads of time on 1st down, and he hits Alshon Jeffrey. The rookie out of South Carolina takes it deep into Lions territory. Cutler to Jeffrey, 55-yard pass play.
There's an aggressive start.
Right
Double move on the outside by the Chicago Bears. There's the bite. A good job avoiding that contact by Alshon Jeffrey. Now, this offense, we've talked about it being really Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall. If Alshon Jeffrey, he's been in and out of the lineup, I think he is that piece. And if he can have a good game today, and if Chicago makes it into the playoffs and he plays well, I think it's a big springboard for next year for this offense.
Jeffrey's longest reception of his rookie season. Off the play fake. This is the fullback, Evan Rodriguez. And he gets wrapped up by the right corner, Ron Bartell. Gain of 2 for Rodriguez.
Well, the inconsistency in the offense is because of this group right here. Chris Spencer gets the start over Gabe Karimi at right guard. That means in the last 7 games, they've had 6 different starting offensive line. They thought they had that solidified weeks ago. And when your offensive line is not playing great, it has an impact all over the board.
2 tight ends set. This is Matt Forte. And he's bottled up by Justin Durant. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 13 as Cutler steps up. Can't find anyone, loses the football, and it was initially recovered by Kyle Vanden Bosch. Forte will fall on it back at midfield.
And that's one of the things we just talked about, this defense having the opportunity to make big plays. Kyle Vanden Bosch has got an opportunity right there.
Right now it's the rushing record. Adrian Peterson would love to surpass that in about 6 hours. Tony Scheffler picks up the Lions' 1st down out to the 37-yard line.
And you got to be able to have somebody compliment what Calvin Johnson is doing on the outside. And Tony Scheffler should be able to exploit the middle of the field for the Detroit Lions with all that concentration on the outside to Calvin.
Calvin Johnson with 117 receptions leads the league. Broke Jerry Rice's single-season yardage record last Saturday against Atlanta. And that That is catch number 1 today for Megatron in Bears territory. 18 yards.
Charles Tillman is going to have him the majority of the afternoon. And it was funny how he talked to us. He said, one of the things I have to do is I can't let Calvin get beyond me. He is so long with his arms and his reach, his stride, that once he gets on top of you, you've really kind of lost the battle at that point. I think that offers the opportunity for routes like that for Calvin Johnson to take advantage of.
3 wide receivers set from the 45-yard line. LaShore works his way down to the 40. Gain of 5.
Again, it's been an unbelievable season for Calvin Johnson, and especially since there's really not that complementary piece with all the injuries at the wide receiver position, and those are unbelievable numbers. And you know, I don't consider them meaningless. I don't think it's a tarnished record, because he's done this where teams are trying to take him away. And here's one of the great things he's learned this season in the second half. He's in the slot right now. Now this creates even a bigger issue for defenses, because he's got a two-way go now.
On 2nd and 5, Stafford.
Tillman did a really nice job on him that last play. Pointed out that he was in this slot, going to give him a nice, right on the line of scrimmage, little shiver right there.
Yeah, as big as Calvin is, you know, Charles Tillman is big. Watch this battle down the field. You've got to be physical with him on the release. And just look at the position, the body position, cutting off angles. I mean, that is great defense by Charles Tillman right there.
Yeah, Calvin even knew that after the play. Man, he threw my timing off.
Tillman did a terrific job back in October, holding Johnson to a season-low 3 receptions for 34 yards in their prior meeting. Stafford on 3rd down and 5, moving to his right. Able to get rid of it. He was under pressure, chased by Julius Peppers, and Johnson able to make the catch and has a Lions first down.
Not just a catch here. I like when after the catch, watch Stafford here scrambling out. Right after the catch, watch how fast he turns, knows where that first down marker is, and gets right across it. That's great awareness by him.
85 to go. It has never been done in the history of the National Football League. Stafford out of the shotgun, inside handoff. And it's LaShore down to the 30. We check in on the Giants and the Eagles with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
And an interesting start to that one. Philadelphia recovered an onside kick to begin the game, but then Michael Vick threw an interception on the opening possession. Giants turned into points. Eli took it up with Ruben Randall, 3-yard score. Giants needed 7-0. They need to win and get a lot of help to make the playoffs, but so far so good for New York. Kenny?
And Kurt, the Giants and their fans keeping a close eye on this game, because a Bears win would eliminate the Giants no matter what they do in their game against the Eagles. LaShore down to the 26-yard line, stopped 1 yard shy of the marker.
Nice balance by Detroit here, Moose. You know, running the ball and you know, also downfield throwing. I mean, something that we haven't seen.
Yeah. Michael LaShore has done a decent job, Tony. You know, he enjoyed Bell as the running back tandem back in it. They really missed Javid Best. I mean, he's such an explosive element in the run game. But these guys, they run hard. They really do.
On 3rd down and 1, ball came loose. Bears say they have it. Officials trying to get to the bottom of the pile, and Bill Levy signals Chicago Bears football.
Looked like his hand was coming forward on that, but they're going to check.
Bears start from the 20. Forte spins into the arms of Justin Durant. Time for another game break. Kurt Menefee.
Well, Houston can wrap up the top spot in the AFC with a win today against Indy, but not so fast. Andrew Luck picking up with Kobe Fleener. Chuck Pagano's first game back on the sideline for the Colts, off to a good start. 7-0. Colts with the lead, trying to prevent Houston from wrapping up that top seed. Kenny?
Great to see Chuck Pagano back. Colts headed to the playoffs. What a story.
A fabulous story. One of the best stories in the NFL this season.
Indianapolis will be the number 5 seed in the AFC. They cannot move up or down. Cutler sets up the screen to Forte on 2nd and 8. Couple of nice moves. Forte with a first down and more. as he heads up the sideline for 19 yards.
I'm gonna give this all to Matt Forte, because this is a screen that's actually read well by Detroit. They're gonna have 2 defenders out on the outside with only 1 blocker, but watch how Matt Forte sets this up. Little dip inside, and then 1 blocker is able to take out 2 defenders. That's great patience and great setup for his offensive lineman.
New set of downs for the Bears. From the 40. Cutler getting rid of it quickly to Earl Bennett. And Bennett has another first down, and he will take it all the way. 60 yards for a Bears touchdown.
Unbelievable that a little screen to the outside can't get him down.
What happened to the safety support on that? I mean, how can you just hit a little bubble screen coming from the slot? It's going to be a nice block by Brandon Marshall on the outside on Ron Bartell. Once he seals that one, Louis Delmas, a horrible angle. Don Carey played it poorly. I mean, there was no safety help. Chris Houston is the corner on the opposite side of the field.
Bad angles by everybody.
Kevin Sutherland's done a heck of a job with that team, making that move into the SEC.
So we look forward to the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic on Fox this Friday. Joyke Bell on the return for the Lions. Stays on his feet and is finally taken down at the 25. Ball came loose. Bears have it. Looked like Joe Anderson knocked it away from Joyke Bell. So the Bears with a 7-3 lead get the ball right back on the Lions 24. Cutler fires to the end zone, and it's through the hands of Marshall. Louis Delmas may have gotten a piece of it.
Brandon Marshall, good release off the line of scrimmage. That's almost there. That's a heck of a throw by Jay Cutler. Again, Louis Delmas on a kind of a poor angle, Tony.
Yeah.
Poor on the touchdown pass to Earl Bennett, and kind of poor getting over there on this one.
Yeah, his angle should be in front of the runner or the receiver on that play. So when he catches the ball, he can go and swipe at it and get it out.
On 2nd and 10, it's Forte. Forte turning the corner and then gets knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
We talked about the challenges in the running game with the offensive line being in flux all season long. And also, you look at Matt Forte, he's been battling, an ankle and foot issue, during the course of the year. Happened 3 times to him, happened to him again last week against Arizona. He was questionable coming into this game, but he's looked well early on running the football.
And he hit 1,000 yards for the season on that carry. 3rd down and 2. Bears looking to capitalize on the Lions' turnover. It's Forte again. Our yellow line unofficial. It will depend on the spot. Lions start from the 20. It's LaShawn. And he is wrapped up by Amobi Okoye. Gain of just 1.
It's just tough to rush the football against this Bears defense. The only person we've seen have any success this year is Adrian Peterson, Goose, and that's across the board for Adrian. But Rod Marinelli has done such a nice job, implementing this defense. They know it so well. They've been playing in it so long. You've got to be very, very efficient to move the ball consistently in the run game against Chicago.
Rod Marinelli, former Lions head coach for 3 seasons. Empty backfield as Stafford fires out to the 27-yard line. As the catch is made by Brandon Pettigrew. He was questionable, missed the last 2 games with an ankle injury.
And he's one of the reasons why, this offense hasn't been able to get on track. I mean, he is a huge target. The middle of the field is the new area that offenses attack, and Brandon Pettigrew is one of those tight ends who has the size and creates the matchup issue in the middle of the field for an offense to take advantage of.
Joyke Bell in the backfield, 3rd down and 4. Lions must get to the 30. Stafford steps up, sidearm throw, and it's Mike Thomas, former Jaguar, who makes the catch and signals 1st down.
Nice pressure by the Bears. Stafford does a really nice job of moving in the pocket, getting open and finding a receiver downfield.
Working on the outside
Yeah.
against Calvin Hayden.
Good coverage, too.
Saw 3 Bears surrounding Calvin Johnson.
Well, when he gets into the slot area, that's what Charles Tillman said. You know, we're kind of concerned about the two-way go and what he could do. And he's like, no, I got my guys inside. I've got a lot of help coming from the inside.
1 minute remaining. First quarter, the toss to LaShore. He's able to break a tackle. And is finally brought down by Shea McClellan. Picks up a first down. We check in again on the Giants and the Eagles with Kurt.
Yeah, maybe too little too late. We'll find out later on today, but the Giants are looking like defending Super Bowl champs. Eli Manning, first time in his career, he's got 3 first-quarter touchdown passes. That one, David Wilson, made it 21-0 right now as they lead the Eagles in a must-win and get help situation. Can he move some goods?
And a big part of that help involves this game, because if the Bears win, no matter what the Giants do, they would be eliminated. Giants need a win and losses by 3 teams, as LaShore is bottled up by the combination of Geno Hayes and Stephen Paya. Loss of 2 on the play. Set the record for receiving yards in a season. Adrian Peterson will play later on Fox against Green Bay. Stafford to the outside, and this is Sean Chappis, a fullback slash tight end, originally drafted by the Cowboys, and he comes up limping after gaining 6 yards. Lions have lost their last 7. Lions must get to the Chicago 47 as Stafford fires downfield, intended for Johnson, and then nearly picked off by Anthony Walters. Following the penalty on the return, Chicago starting from their own 29-yard line, and Cutler connects with Matt Spaeth, only his 6th reception this season. Bears tight ends have the fewest catches as a group in the entire league.
Yeah, but one of the things I'm seeing right now from this Bears offense is the ball getting distributed to other people besides Brandon Marshall. We've had the big play by Earl Bennett on the touchdown, the big play to start the game by Alshon Jeffrey. So the other guys are stepping up. That's when this offense will start to hit a stride.
5 completions, Darryl, for Cutler. He's hit 5 different receivers. Marshall not one of the 5. Broken down at 4. The toss to Hester on the end around. And Hester takes it out to the 38-yard line. Stopped a yard shy of the marker. So it will be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, and it's been one of the things that Mike Tice has tried to sort through during the course of the year is how do I get Devin Hester involved offensively? And that's one of the areas right there, the end arounds, some different things they can do, you know, not just as a receiver, but as a runner with the football. He's so good in space. We've seen him on returns throughout his career.
Now Tice sends in Gabe Karimi as an extra blocker. 3rd down and 1. First carry today for Khalil Bell. And he picks up a first down. Michael Bush is on IR. And the Bears today are without Armando Allen. So it's Bell, who was a Bear earlier this season, was waived, signed with the Jets, back in Chicago.
That's a good short yardage run right there. It's a quick decision, square your shoulders, north-south.
Bell remains in. 1st and 10 from the 44. Early second quarter from Ford Field in Detroit. This is Bell once again. Bell running hard out to the 49-yard line. He picks up 5 more before he was brought down by Delmas.
We've talked about the injuries in the secondary for Detroit. There's one of the guys right there. You know, Louis Delmas missed 8 of the first 13 games with a knee, and they're a different team when he's not back there. We've seen a few poor angles by him today, though, Tony. So maybe some of that rush showing a little bit.
2nd down and 5. Play action. Cutler fires downfield. Looked like Marshall stopped. He hesitated. And Don Carey on the coverage.
Even though they know each other really well, you know, you still have to have, you know, that real good sense between quarterback and receiver. Now, Chicago's, when they take a shot down the field, it's going to be off a movement, and it's going to be max protection. Now, you've got help over the top and help underneath here, and right now, you can see the indecision by Brandon Marshall at the top of that route. Jake Cutler's expecting one thing, Brandon Marshall is doing something else.
Third down and 5. Cutler from the shotgun. Cutler's pass is caught by Jeffrey, and he extends with Patrick Lee attempting to bring him down. Jeffrey looks to have a first. He does.
Alshon Jeffrey coming out of the slot. And he can make it easier on himself by getting the distance beyond the things. They have to throw it quick. Look at that. He's about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short. Pushed almost 4 yards short. But look at that effort to break the tackle. And then, as Tony said, right at the end, to kind of lay out and stretch that ball.
Terrific awareness by the rookie Jeffrey. Caught a 55-yard pass earlier. So a new set of downs for the Bears off the fake to Bell. Cutler escapes pressure and then fires it out of bounds. Cutler back on his feet. Time for another game break. So JJ back to 20 and a half. Cutler on second down short. Looking for Marshall. Ron Bartell on the coverage as Sue helps Jay Cutler back onto his feet.
Well, if Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall are out of sync, you'd think it would be bad news for the Bears. And you look at that, you know, three attempts, no completions yet. But look what the other guys have done. Look at the wide receivers. The other guys, 3 or 4 for 120 yards. Where has that been all season?
Coming into this game, Marshall had 89 more receptions than the next Bears wide receiver, Bennett. 89 more. With Marshall lined up in the backfield, Cutler steps away from pressure, throws. It's the first catch for Marshall, but not nearly enough. Gain of just 1 following the Bears and Lions.
No.
Lions start from their 13-yard line. This is LaShore, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Walters.
Number of plays is even.
Yeah, time of possession's pretty close.
Chicago, that big play by Earl Bennett. Big difference right now.
Right. These teams both in the top 5 in time of possession this season. 2 tight end sets, second down at 11. Calvin Johnson has been held in check. 2 catches, 23 yards. Nice catch by the tight end, Will Heller. There is a flag. As Heller picks up a first down.
Yeah. What you got? What you got?
Second down and 17 following the penalty. Calvin Johnson, bottom of your screen, split wide to the right. Inside handoff to LaShore.
Man, LaShore had I'm standing right behind. He had a huge hole. He decides to go take it inside. If you would have cut that to the outside, got a lot more yardage on that run. A bad read by him.
LaShore will head to the sidelines. Native of Champaign, Illinois, attended the University of Illinois. Lions leading rusher this season, now third down and 13.
Where you at?
Lions must get to the 23-yard line for a first down. As Stafford fires in the area of Johnson.
Get in my face. Gotta love that.
Perfect starting field position for the Bears as Forte found a hole and has a first down at the Lions 42.
There's a nice run, just that outside zone, get everybody running, and then let Matt Forte find where that running lane is. Going to be coming right at you. Evan Rodriguez on the lead. A nice job by Chris Spencer getting up to the linebacker level.
From the Lions 42-yard line. Matt Forte cuts to the outside, back inside, has another Bears first down. 2 nice runs by Forte, first 11 and now 13.
Well, I think if you had a concern about what his health was with his ankles, I think that this run right here kind of makes you feel a little bit better. You know, that's hard to do with healthy ankles, let alone sore ankles.
My ankles hurt after watching it. Look at those plants, how he just moves his body.
3 tight ends set. As Cutler hands it off to Forte again. Not this time. Loses a yard. Kyle Vanden Bosch makes the tackle.
Yeah, good penetration on the backside. And Matt Forte couldn't even get started to the play side. I mean, he had to plan and kind of jump cut backwards.
Second down and 11 for the Bears, who lead 10-3. Brandon Marshall held in check. Just 1 reception, 1 yard. Empty backfield. Forte split wide to the left. Marshall now in motion. Cutler gets the ball into the hands of Marshall, and he will be tackled for a loss by DeAndre Levy. Loss of 2 yards on the play.
I didn't understand that play there, Moose. They bring him all the way across the formation where everybody else was. I mean, they had 1 more guy than they could have blocked over there.
You know what, Tony, though, if you're kind of seeing how they're going to react to it, that we might see that again later on, and then maybe the throw backside to Matt Forte, because he had Stephen Tulloch one-on-one.
Marshall shaken up, out of the game once again. Replaced by Hester, 3rd down and 13. Bears must get to the Lions 19 for a 1st down with Marshall on the sidelines. Over the top to Bennett. Tackled at the 26, so the Bears will send out the field goal unit with under 5 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter. Short bell in the backfield. On 1st down, Stafford looking for Johnson. Guess who? Charles Tillman breaks it up.
He's unbelievable with his eyes on that ball, man. It's like glue. Watch Tillman right here. Head inside. He sees a short set. He broke on that ball like he was the receiver.
Told us yesterday, loves playing against Calvin Johnson. He said, I'm a Calvin Johnson fan.
Hey, there's nothing better than competing against the best in the business. You've got there's your starting Pro Bowlers right there going at it one-on-one on the outside. It's going to be fun to watch.
Both Bears starting quarterbacks headed to the Pro Bowl. As Stafford has the ball knocked loose, and it's picked up by Julius Peppers.
You got to have a sense of when it's breaking down, and when it is, you've got to secure the ball. And watch Matthew Stafford in the pocket. This is starting to break down. Here comes Israel Adonijah right up the middle, and he's still got it up and away from his body, and he's a little bit late trying to get that secured.
Does a nice job of splitting that double team, Adonijah. Peppers heads up and seeing that ball on the ground.
So a sack, forced fumble for Adonijah. Peppers with the recovery, his 4th of the season. So the Bears take over on the Lions 10. 2nd Detroit turnover in this 1st half. Cutler fires, deflects away from Marshall.
And that one went right through Brandon Marshall's hands down. It's the 2nd time he had an unbelievable opportunity to go and make a play on the ball, but just doesn't get it done.
You know, he wasn't happy how he played last week at Arizona either. You know, you mentioned the fact that Jay Cutler said at this time of the year quarterback play becomes important. And I think that Brandon Marshall feels the one way you help that is playing well on the outside. He didn't play well last week, wasn't happy with how he performed last week, and he's off to a slow start again this week.
2nd and goal, it's Forte. Cuts to the outside. He's inside the 5 and wrestled out of bounds at the 4-yard line by Ron Bartell.
Last week it was kind of the game plan that really got him out of sync. Ended up with 6 catches for 68 yards, but in the beginning of that game, it was really the 2-minute drill at the end of the 1st half where they started to hit their stride. And it's happened again this week for Brandon Marshall with a slow start.
Split wide to the right, shaken up earlier. 3rd down and goal as Cutler throws, and again looking for Marshall. There is a flag. Don Carey on the coverage. First and goal from the 1 as Forte walks it in for a Bears touchdown.
Got to compliment the offensive line in this. I'm not a big fan of pulling people down on the goal line, and you had a double pull. You had Matt Spaeth coming, and you also had, I think it was Chris Spencer pulling from the right guard spot.
The Chicago win would also eliminate the New York Giants. Lead the Eagles 28-7 after 2-minute warning to the second quarter as Joyke Bell takes it out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5.
And sometimes during the course of the season, you hit that stretch where you have an opportunity to get things turned around. And Matthew Stafford told us that, you know, earlier in the season they had a 3-game homestand, and they lost a lot of heartbreaking games during the course of that. And you know, that really became, you know, the issue when you lose. They had the Packers, the Texans, and the Colts here at home, and lost all 3 of those games late in the game, and that just adds to the lack of confidence and the issues that are out there for your team.
Second down and 5. Stafford fires and it's picked off. That's number 9 for the NFL's leader in interceptions, Tim Jennings. The 3rd Detroit Lions turnover.
I'd love to see guys that do that. You know, the coaches challenged him, hey, what can I do? How do I need to improve? They told him. He went out and worked at it the entire offseason.
Responding to a challenge.
And now Cutler firing deep. Once again looking for Brandon Marshall. There's Jennings celebrating his leading 9th interception this season. Headed to his first Pro Bowl.
How about that? You know, the coaches say, you know, what do I need to work at? What do I need to get better at? Well, your ball skills, you know, the point of the catch. Okay, and then you come out and you lead the league in interceptions the following year. I mean, it's an awesome story.
Being coachable, I guess, right?
Second and 10, it's Bell. And to talk about twos, they're forced 3 Detroit turnovers in this first half. 3rd down and 9. Cutler throws, looking for Jeffrey. He makes the catch. No, then he lost it. Looked like he had it initially. Ron Bartell on the coverage.
He did have it initially, Kenny. You know, the difference between that I see from Chicago's defense to the Lions' defense is I don't see the guys running to the ball for the Lions.
On the screen, Deuces LaShore gains 9.
Tillman, nice job with leverage. I mean, he can't do everything out there, right there. Even though he wants to.
You look at Tillman's numbers this season, incredible. He's returned all 3 of his picks for touchdowns, and he has forced 10 fumbles.
I've never seen anybody better at punching a ball out. It's amazing how uncanny he is at that.
Stafford sidearm throw on 2nd and 1. He sure wasn't ready for it.
Not at all ready for it. Little sidearm throw right there. Nice. It's right here, he sees it.
Now, there was a lot of discussion this week about the mechanics of Matthew Stafford, and I think it's funny that, you know, we criticize, you know, trying to have that perfect form in the pocket. I mean, how many guys do we watch on Sunday afternoons? I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a unique way of throwing the football. There's so many different ways today, and a lot of times it's based on need, like you said, Tony, to find that window and be able to get that ball out. It's not going to be, you know, a prototypical throw from the pocket.
How about Brett Favre? How many times has he thrown the ball crazy, shuffle passes, and behind his back, all kinds of crazy things? It's all about getting it done. If you get it done, it doesn't matter how pretty it is.
He set it down for the Lions from the 30. Stafford over the top to Bell. Joyke Bell able to pick up another Lions first down. That was the 701st pass attempt by Stafford this season. He's the first quarterback in league history to throw as many as 700 passes in one season. Here's Pettigrew down to the 47. And the Lions with 56 seconds remaining. Bears have scored 13 points off the 3 Lion turnovers. 1 timeout remaining for Detroit. Stafford with a shovel pass, backhand shovel pass to Joy Bell. And the Lions will use their final timeout.
Effective football is a game.
That's right. Great to see him.
Good job by Bruce Arians in the absence of Pagano, as that pass is off the hands of Calvin Johnson.
It's just one of those days right now for these guys, because this is one of the areas where I would like to see Matthew Stafford take the next step. A lot of times he wheels out the back end of this. Pressure, steps up, finds a big open running lane right here, and then delivers it downfield to Calvin Johnson. And, hey, that's the best in the business right there. He's got to make that catch. And it has just not been the Lions' first half.
What you got? Ray!
On second down. Stafford to the outside for Scheffler. 8 of 7. Clock stops, 39 seconds remaining in the half. 3rd down and 3 upcoming.
You got to pay off this offensive line. You mentioned how many attempts Matthew Stafford has had during the course of the season. That puts a ton of stress on that offensive line. They've really held up well all season long. They do things offensively, throwing the ball as much as they have this season that you wouldn't expect. You talked about time of possession. I mean, it's kind of an extension of their running game.
3rd down and 3. Stafford over the middle. Couple of nice moves by LaShore. Picks up the Lions' first down. Remember, Detroit out of timeouts.
Out there.
Yeah, he never fumbled in college. He's had 3 this year. So it's something that every young running back goes through at the NFL level. I struggled it with my rookie year.
11th play of the drive for the Lions, as Stafford had that pass tipped at the line. And it falls incomplete.
You got to be careful right now. Understanding, Kenny mentioned they don't have any timeouts left. And we used to have a drill. It's about, they're right on that cusp of being able to get up and get that ball clocked to stop that clock. So Matthew Stafford's got to be very, very careful where he intends this throw to go.
Julius Peppers got up and got his hand on that one.
He really got up, man. He was, I don't know what his vertical is, but he was sky high.
Green Bay. Former basketball player in college at UNC. 3rd down and 10. Stafford to the end zone. Touchdown. Chris Durham. Touchdowns this season. Final regular season game. Bears need a win to stay alive. Cutler to the outside on 1st down. The catch is made by Jeffrey out of the 13-yard line for a gain of 8. Bears started the game with Cutler hitting Jeffrey on a 55-yard pass play, and then Cutler with a 60-yard touchdown pass to Earl Bennett. Cutler 8 of 15 in the first half. Bears lead by 10. Second down and 2. Cutler with time. He throws it. It's Jeffrey again for a Chicago first down.
Yeah, I talked to Jim Swartz going in, and he talked about the turnovers like Darryl talked about, but the one thing he was happy about was his defense and the way that they're keeping him in this game. The turnovers are huge, but the defense is, not giving up those 7 points, or else, they would have been out of this game. I think they've kept them in the game with only giving up 3, so we'll see what happens here in the second half.
The Strikers, they held Chicago to field goals following 2 of the turnovers, and when you look at the average field position from a Lions standpoint, it could have been a lot worse. Taken out to the 29-yard line by Forte. And we also heard the guys in the studio talking about some of the fourth quarter exploits of Matthew Stafford through the touchdown pass right at the end of the second quarter, so this game's not over.
Yeah, I thought that Howie Long made a great point. And when you've got Calvin Johnson outside and you've got an aggressive quarterback like Matthew Stafford, he's not going to take his foot off the gas. He's going to keep pressing that ball down the field, even though there's been some mistakes in the first half. In Chicago, this is what they do. Offensively, it's nothing flashy. They were happy with how they played last week against Arizona. A lot of offenses would be frustrated with how they played against Arizona last week. But their approach is, we ran the ball effectively. We didn't make any major mistakes. We didn't turn the ball over, put our defense in a bad spot. I think for them to get to the next level, like Jimmy Johnson said, if they get into the playoffs, what are they really going to do? If they're going to make any noise in the playoff, this offense has to become more aggressive. I agree with them. If they get in continuing to play this way, the defenses in the playoffs are too good. They will take Brandon Marshall away.
Butler on first down, steps up and takes off. Butler picks up a first down, out of bounds. Up at the 46-yard line, he gains 12.
I think he's underrated as a quarterback on the move. We've seen a couple of times his great pocket feel as he slides and steps up. And this one, just a really nice, quick decision right here when he sees that there's a lot of open space out there. Just pull it down and get as much as you can.
I think his offensive line is doing a good job, too, today, Darryl. Opening up, sliding, making big openings for him to go and look downfield and slide around. So, something that was a big question mark going into this game.
From the 46 on first down, it's Forte. Tries to cut it back towards the inside, and he gets wrapped up by Don Carey. Loss of 2 on the play. We talked to Lovie Smith yesterday and asked him about the plan if the Bears do in fact win this game. Will you stick around and watch the Packers and the Vikings? He said, nope, we'll head to the airport as we usually do, take off for Chicago and find out the score from the pilot. They don't have television on the plane, no internet access. They will get updates, and they'll be rooting for the Green Bay Packers. First, the Bears must win this game. They set up the screen, and a nice tackle made on Forte by Stephen Tulloch.
Great awareness by Stephen Tulloch. The offensive line does a nice job of setting the screen up right over the middle. Tulloch keeps his eyes. Open field tackle right here on Forte. Down low, not tackling high like we've seen over the last couple weeks for a lot of defenses. Takes his legs out, and that's exactly how you're supposed to wrap it up. Nice seeing a guy with fundamentals. Huh, Darryl? Breath of fresh air.
Yeah, actually tackled through the guy instead of to the guy.
Textbook.
Now third down and 10. Bears must get to the Lions 44. Butler moving to his right. He throws too far for Jeffrey. And then some extracurricular activity. Him in Dearborn. We had a great visit yesterday.
Awesome.
Stafford rolling right on first down. As we welcome a new audience, Matthew Stafford picking up 5 on first down. We are early third quarter. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Detroit. Chicago Bears need a win to stay alive. Bears must win and then root for the Green Bay Packers to defeat the Minnesota Vikings. A Bears win would also knock out the New York Giants, who lead Philadelphia 35-7. On second and 5, this is Michael LaShore, and he picks up a Lions first down out to the 34.
And he's been running like that all afternoon. Again, I like the way he finishes his runs. He's very physical.
Yeah, as soon as he finds that little space up front, he goes and hits it vertical, squared shoulders, lowers his shoulder a little bit, gets as much yardage as he possibly can. It's a nice hit right there at the end, and securing the ball.
Sure, running well. It's been a quiet day for Calvin Johnson in pursuit of 2,000 receiving yards. Be the first to do it in league history. This is LaShore once again. And LaShore has another Lions first down out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 13, and he comes up hobbling.
And not just Calvin Johnson today, but Brandon Marshall on the other side, the Chicago Bears, a big part of their offense as well. And look at the job that both of these defenses have done. Calvin Johnson, now that's a lot of Charles Tillman. He's kind of pulling him in that situation and a lot of one-on-ones.
Yeah, but Calvin Johnson did have some opportunities. The ball right in his hands, did drop 3 of them.
Yeah, good point, Tony. He's had some big drops today.
Stafford fires on first down. It's Johnson. His 3rd reception. It's a first down, a gain of 18.
And this is one of the things that Charles Tillman told us he would have to do. He never wants to allow Calvin Johnson to get beyond him, even with help over the top, because he's so long. A little slip there coming out of the break, but you can see major rights there. He has help over the top, but he said Calvin is just so athletic and he's got such a great wingspan that if he's even with you, he's got you beat. So we've seen Charles Tillman keep him in front of him all afternoon.
Calvin Johnson now 67 yards away from 2,000. Vance Briggs unable to bring down Joy Bell. Bell takes it to the 34-yard line. Gain of just 1. Midway through the 3rd quarter here in Detroit. Lions, a playoff team a season ago. Just 4 wins this year. They've lost 7 straight. Bears, who started 7-1. Darryl, you mentioned it in the open. Team that starts the season 7-1 has not missed the playoffs since the Redskins back in '96. Coming over there. Second down at 9. As Stafford throws to a wide open Johnson. It's another Lions first down at the Chicago 10-yard line. 24-yard pass play.
Yeah, a lot of times you wait for the opportunities to be one-on-one in coverage, but today it looks like Calvin Johnson's looking for the opportunities to catch zone because Charles Tillman has played so well against him. That's a well-thrown ball by Matthew Stafford.
Johnson now 43 yards away. Cannot do it on this drive. First trip into the red zone for the Detroit Lions today. Thomas motions into the backfield. And then Stafford's pass incomplete. He was looking for Thomas.
I don't like that type of play call in this situation. You've gotten into the red zone. You know, you finished your first half with a scoring drive. Here you are to start the second half, an opportunity to get another scoring drive. Just stay to what you do well. And that play never really looked good from the get-go.
Yeah, I think his timing was off on his motion across. He was way too close to throw that pass.
Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinators for the Lions, right, might have been overthinking that one a little bit.
Watch it, guys. Second and goal from the 10. Stafford throws, and it's broken up. Intended for Johnson. Charles Tillman, again, does a terrific job for the Bears.
It's been fun to watch all day long.
It's been awesome.
I mean, again, understanding where you are on the field, you're in the red zone, you're on the outside, you're split wide as a receiver, so what routes can come out of that? And Charles Tillman has done a really nice job pre-snap processing everything, and the officials have let these guys play. I think they're enjoying the battle outside, too, because it's been physical on the outside between Calvin Johnson and Charles Tillman.
Now third and goal. 3 wide receivers set. Stafford fires. End zone. It's Will Heller for a Lions touchdown. Chicago in need of a win today to stay alive as Forte finds a big hole and has a Bears first down. Tyrell Johnson made the tackle, a gain of 12. The NFC playoff picture, Bears need a win and a Vikings loss. As far as the Giants are concerned, they lead Philadelphia 35-7, but if the Bears win, the Giants are done.
We've got some big games coming up in the later part of the day, too. With the San Francisco and the Seattle games when they play. Obviously, the one that the Bears are interested in, that Green Bay-Minnesota game. Green Bay will earn the 2 seed and a bye with a win. This is Marshall only a second catch. They took one away at halftime, changed it to a run. So Marshall now with
2 receptions. Call Star NFL to download NFL Mobile for only $5 all month long. Second down and 7. On second down, the quick out to Bennett. And Bennett takes it up to the 46-yard line, gain of 6. So a big third down and 1 upcoming for Chicago.
We talked about how important this series was for the Chicago offense as they came onto the field. This is a conversion you've got to keep these drives alive. Mike Tice has got to find out something that has been working during the course of the day, or Jay Cutler has a lot of confidences on this snap.
Gabe Carimi in as an extra blocker. On 3rd and 1, it is Forte, and he will not get there. Lawrence Jackson with the penetration for the Lions.
Actually, Khalil Belkenny, he was the short yardage guy in the first half and made a nice run, very decisive in his run. This time, it's just penetration. There's some explosive components out there in this offense. You cannot go to sleep on the Lions.
Worst starting field position of the day for Detroit as LaSure takes it out to the 12-yard line for a gain of 4. This field position set up by the Eric Weems play on special teams.
One of those things that goes unrecognized during the course of the game, but we look at starting field position a lot, and Eric Weems, that open field tackle, that's a huge part.
You got Riley Reef in there, offensive tackle as an extra blocker. Top of your screen right there.
First round pick out of Iowa. Riley Reef. Now second down and 6. And LaSure unable to take the handoff from Stafford, and it's recovered by Major Wright. The 4th Lions turnover.
I thought it was going to bounce back to Michael LaSure. It looked as though he was going to have an opportunity to recover that. But again, it's that culture of hustle that Rod Marinelli promotes. It's a bad QB handoff exchange. He's got his inside arm up, which is incorrect for all you young guys out there. It hits him in the chest, which makes it more difficult. Opportunities to get the ball back, but again,
as Wright comes up with the recovery. 4th time the Bears start a drive from inside the Lions 25. And Cutler is taken down back at the 18-yard line. Kyle Vanden Bosch along with Ndamukong Suh.
Well, they've done it twice today, Tony. They've given up the ball on the 23 and the 24-yard line, and this defense has been able to hold them to field goals. Can they do it again here?
Well, I'll tell you what, that pocket collapsed immediately. Suh right in the middle. Nice job, Vanden Bosch, and a little bit of a twist on the outside. They've done a great job of responding to these turnovers in today's game.
Remember, the Bears held to 3 following 2 of the prior turnovers. Cutler to Bennett. Bennett out of bounds just shy of the 10.
We've seen him be able to do it twice, Tony. They're trying to do it again here. But one of the things that I thought was really not talked about a lot about your 2000 Raven defense was your ability in sudden change. And you guys, a lot of times on turnovers, didn't even allow points. What's the mindset?
You know what? You just got to, it's a sense of urgency. You got to go out there. You got to feel the pressure. You got to know that you guys got to play all together, and you got to play as best as you possibly can and not give them an inch.
4th down and 8. Cutler throws, end zone, Marshall, incomplete.
That's in the way that they're not giving up those big plays, only giving up 3 points on in an area where you should be getting 7s.
So the deficit is just 6 for the Lions as Stafford hits LaSure, and Anthony Walters comes up, makes the tackle for a loss of 2.
You got outside his screen element. Your offensive linemen are the guys you need to have with you on these screen passes, and Michael LaSure got outside of that, and that allowed Anthony Walters to come up and make that tackle. So it's one of those things that you got to do time and time again to get comfortable and get that timing down. But the one thing you have to know is you can never get outside your offensive lineman on that screen.
Second down and 12. We approach 1 minute remaining, third quarter here in Detroit.
Squeeze!
Stafford to Johnson. Calvin Johnson out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 7. Now has 72 yards today, 36 shy of 2,000.
He's closing in, Darryl.
But
That's
he's
amazing.
You know, he's doing it the way Charles Tillman said. You know, listen, I have a lot of respect for him. If he does that, that's fantastic. But he is not getting an explosive play on me.
Charles
He's going to have to catch 20 balls.
Absolutely.
Longest reception today, that's 24 yards. Third down and 5. Stafford looking. Stafford throws, was deflected and nearly intercepted by Tillman.
Well, he's lucky this was deflected, because if he's going to throw this on time, it will be intercepted.
NFC West battle for the number 2 seed and the bye. Packers will have a week off. They beat Minnesota today. Butler on the slant. It's Marshall. Marshall out to the 48-yard line. Gain of 9. That's his longest reception today. And the Bears would head to the postseason. Second down and 1. As we start the fourth quarter, it's Forte. Forte across midfield into Lions territory. Picks up a Bears first down.
You know, I thought I had a solution to that dilemma, Kenny. You know, it would be hard for me to cheer for the Eagles or the Redskins in a situation that Chicago finds himself in, where they would have to cheer for Green Bay. So I said, you know, why don't you just cheer against Minnesota?
Right.
You know, that way you can still have that.
There you go.
That fuel the rivalry. You don't have to be on the Packer bandwagon if you're a Bears fan.
Congratulate, don't hate.
There's Forte. Definitely a bizarre world when the Bears have to root for the Packers and the Giants could potentially have to root for the Washington Redskins later tonight, depending on what happens in this game.
It's a tangled web we weave, Kenny.
Final day of the regular season in the National Football League. Bears a 7-3 start last year. Cutler injured. Bears lost 5 of the last 6, missed the playoffs. 7-1 start this year. Hope to win and they need some help. Second and 5. Bennett! What a catch by Earl Bennett. 27 yards.
Well, he has really stepped up today. That is a nice catch, because again, tight coverage by Chris Houston, one-on-one at the top of the screen. Watch the footwork, back shoulder, both feet down. Well done.
Nice job keeping that left foot in. Wow.
So Bennett with a couple of huge plays today. 60-yard touchdown back in the first quarter. From the 16, it's Forte. Gains 2.
Yeah, if you were to see the numbers that Brandon Marshall has today, you would think the Bears would be in trouble. I mean, look at this. 3 out of 9 for only 13 yards over there. But look what the other guys have done. Only twice this season has Brandon Marshall not led the team in receiving yards. And on the biggest game of the season for the Chicago Bears, Earl Bennett has stepped up. Alshon Jeffrey has stepped up. The running backs have done a nice job in the screen game.
Cutler on his last completion went over 3,000 yards for the season. Second down and 8. Cutler backpedaling, moving to his left. Now throws to the end zone. Kellen Davis tried to make the catch, and then Khalil Bell had a shot at it as well.
You know, they're really lucky that they got this ball off.
Third down and 8. Cutler from the shotgun. On third down, he throws to Marshall, who picks up a first down. He lost his left cleat, but Marshall gains 10 and picks up a huge Bears first down.
That's what happens when you cut so hard on that turf. Watch Brandon Marshall up here at the top of your screen. Right after he catches the ball, boom. Tell you what, his feet are going so fast, Moose, that it came right out of his shoe.
Fourth catch today for Marshall, now has 117 on the season. First and goal from the 4. And Cutler has that pass batted back, and then he knocks it down. Smart play by Cutler. If he caught it, would have lost yardage. Willie Young with the initial bat back. There's Young.
That's scary when that ball pops up that high.
Yeah, Jay does a nice job with the volleyball spike right there. Good wind up, hits the ball good, gets it down on the ground, go to the next play. Your hands up front is so big.
Second and goal. At 4-10. Brought down by Andre Fluellen at the 3-yard line.
Well, DeAndre Levy made a good play because it looked like they were going to have that edge sealed, and Matt Forte was going to be able to just kind of cruise into the end zone, but he fought through the block and turned him back to the inside.
Bears leading by 6. Third and goal from just inside the 3. 10th play of the drive for Chicago. Cutler looking end zone. He throws, and it's Chris Houston on the coverage. Pass intended for Marshall. 20. Trailing the Bears by 9. Stafford on first down. Wait to the tight end, Scheffler, for a gain of 8.
Been the complimentary guys this afternoon on both sides of the ball, stepping up, making some plays.
Well, I think the run game has really helped this offense because that play action, those linebackers are really responding to that coming up, and it's giving them an extra second as the wide receivers and the tight ends go out for a route. So.
Second down and 2. LaSure in the backfield, 3 receivers set. Side handoff to LaSure. There is a flag. Lance Briggs hit on the tackle. Giants would stay alive for the moment, cutting the outcome of this game. It's Scheffler once again for Lions first down.
A nice catch right there, huh?
It really was. It's on the back shoulder. That's a big play right there. And a little bit of confusion right now in some of the coverage for the Chicago Bears. Kelvin Hayden on that play looking for answers in the coverage. And, talking to Charles Tillman yesterday, it was interesting to see how their coverages are balanced when you talk about the Bears defense. Sometimes he's working with a linebacker. Sometimes he's working in conjunction with a safety. So on that one there looked to be a little bit of confusion.
New set of downs for Detroit. 9 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Stafford's pass intended for Pettigrew.
And he's not 100%. He's not even close to 100% with that high ankle sprain. But Jim Schwartz said it would be important if we could get Brandon Pettigrew on the field just for the guys to see how important it is to go out there and compete. But you can watch here, he doesn't have a whole lot of push off of that bad leg. And Matthew wants him to get out quick. I just don't think he can run those routes right now. But Jim Schwartz was hoping that from an inspirational standpoint, that Brandon Pettigrew being out here today would kind of show his guys what it takes to be a professional.
He's their second leading receiver after Calvin Johnson. Second down at 10. And Stafford has that pass batted back by Lance Briggs.
So many times you see these linebackers walked up in the middle, Tony. A lot of times they're pulling out. This time he didn't.
Yeah. Lance Briggs does a nice job of getting his hands up, coming with the pressure right in Stafford's face right there.
Strange to see Pro Bowl rosters without Urlacher and Briggs on them. Bears will send 5. Urlacher's gone to the last 8 Pro Bowls. Briggs the last 7. Still very important cogs in this Bears defense. Third down and 10. Stafford moving to his right. Stafford now slides down at the 36. And there is a flag for a late hit. He was down about 6 yards shy of the marker.
Foul, necessary roughness, number 55 of the defense going to the head of the sliding quarterback. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So instead of the Lions punt, it's a first down as Briggs is flagged.
And I know a lot of people, the Bears fans are going to be upset. He's declared himself out. You just can't go to the head. You got both of them. You're right, Tony. It was Lance Briggs and Calvin Hayden both going.
Only the second Bears penalty, but it's a big one. Keeps this drive alive with 8.5 to play. 9-point Chicago lead. From the Bears 49 on first down. Stafford throws, and the pass is caught by Brian Robisky. His first reception today. It's a 22-yard pass play.
And zone defense against one more time there, Darryl. Stafford does a nice job with a little bit of short pump, and then giving Robisky a little bit of time to go and get in that little bit of a zone area where it's wide open. Makes a nice throw.
Robisky's dad, wide receivers coach in Atlanta, Terry Robisky, used the 10th different target that Stafford has connected with today.
Lucky.
From the Bears 28. Stafford over the middle, wide open for a first down and more. It's Will Heller, takes it down to the Bears 9-yard line.
This is such a nice decision by Matthew Stafford because you've got Calvin Johnson going down the middle of the field with an opportunity for the big play. Just the opportunity, but it's going to be Will Heller that leaks out late that gives you the nice, easy one. Look at, there's nobody around him right there. The temptation was there to take a shot towards the end zone with Calvin Johnson in a one-on-one situation, but that was a nice decision to drop it down for an easy play.
First and goal from the Bears 9. This drive kept alive by the Briggs penalty. Stafford on first down to the end zone. There is a flag. It's a catch and a touchdown. Brian Robisky. Bears who need a victory to stay alive. They led by as many as 17 late in the second quarter. Bears start from their own 20-yard line as Cutler throws, and it's Brandon Marshall who makes the catch out of the 39 for a gain of 19.
Again, we showed you a graphic on Jay Cutler early in the game, how he gets better and better, and his best numbers are here in the fourth quarter and on a very critical drive, the opening play. There's that chemistry between he and Brandon Marshall that has not been there all afternoon.
Fifth catch for Marshall. First and 10 from the 39-yard line. As Cutler hands it off to Forte, and he gains 3 out to the 44. America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Packers and the Vikings. If the Bears win, they need a Vikings loss. Vikings hosting Green Bay. Some of you will see an NFC West matchup. Niners and the Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Rams with division crown at stake. Number 2 seed up in the air of the NFC as well. On second and 5, it's Forte once again. Ball comes loose, and the Bears able to recover. And then Vanden Bosch gets involved at the end of the play with Roberto Garza.
I'm just shocked that we're at the position we're at right now. If you were to tell me, hey, we're going to be, halfway through the fourth quarter, Calvin Johnson's going to have less than 80 yards. The Bears are going to have a +4 turnover ratio. What do you think the score is going to be? I would never have thought it would be inside a field goal.
Lions defense has come up big, holding the Bears to field goals and not touchdowns. Third down and 4. Bears must get to the 49 as Cutler floats it up for Marshall. He did not make the catch in bounds. start from the 9, trailing by 2. Stafford, a sidearm fling, is behind Calvin Johnson.
But here's the thing about this team, Tony. This is the group that's on the field right now that drives this team. And that's the way it's been in Chicago for as long as I can remember. And you go back and you think about the teams that were in the championship games last year. Lovie Smith talked to us about this yesterday. 2 of those 4 teams, San Francisco and Baltimore, built very similar to how Chicago functions. So they keep it close, they don't make mistakes, and they rely on this defense to close people out.
Second and 10 from the 9-yard line. Stafford over the middle. Catch is made by Scheffler. Roach the tackle. It will be 3rd down and 6.
4 yards on the line. 3rd down and 6.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Giants and the Eagles. Giants stay alive, but they need a Lions win over the Bears. It's a 2-point game. Bears led by 17 late in the second quarter. Lions have come roaring back. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa from Ford Field in Detroit. 3rd down and 6, and Tim Jennings makes a huge defensive play for the Bears, breaking up that pass that was intended for Chris Durham.
And Chicago just has not taken advantage of their opportunities today.
Bears start from the 40-yard line. The toss to Matt Forte, and he's able to gain 4 out to the 44. Cliff Averill made the tackle, and now the Lions use their first timeout. If you've heard the playoff scenarios once today, you've heard them 100 times. Bears need a win and a Vikings loss. If the Bears win this game, it will eliminate the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants, as Forte is out across the 47-yard line, and the Lions will use their second timeout, stopping the clock with 3.5 to play. 3rd down and 3. Bears must get to midfield for a first down. And Cutler will take off, picks up a first down and more. Jay Cutler slides down at the Lions 34. Cutler needed 3, and he gains 19.
He competes, huh, Darrell?
Yeah.
He's tough, he competes. I'll tell you what, I like the play selection on that. You put it in his hands, put all the big guys in there, make them think run, so you have everybody inside, send your receivers out, then let your offensive line go and block them guys up a little bit, give Jay opportunity to throw the ball downfield or run for the first down. Looks like Brian Urlacher's happy about that call also.
Urlacher missing his 4th consecutive game. So Cutler gains 19 on a Bears first down. From the Detroit 34, it is Forte. And now the Lions will use their 3rd and final timeout with 2:38 remaining.
To this team when this season ends. It's been a big challenge with that offensive line, and I just don't think they've been able to figure out how to make it work.
We welcome another new audience. Bears leading the Lions by 2 as Forte stays on his feet and has a Bears first down. Takes it to the Lions' 20-yard line as Forte picks up 13.
But we're seeing the key guys step out on a huge drive. We challenge Chicago in this situation. If this is how you're built, then you've got to take care of business right here. It was Jay Cutler on the big 3rd down. Look at the effort by Matt Forte right here. But we don't see it enough.
But the Bears turn the ball over. The Lions turn the ball over 4 times as Cutler takes one final knee. Bears remain alive. And will now take out their Green Bay Packers pom-poms.
No, cheer against the Minnesota Vikings. You can't cheer for the Packers.
So the Chicago Bears hang on, defeat the Detroit Lions by the score of 26-24. The Lions' disappointing season comes to an end with their 8th consecutive loss.
And that's a tough one. I mean, you're going into the offseason on an 8-game losing streak. There were high expectations for Detroit. It's going to be a challenging offseason for the Lions.
Bears go to 10-6. They stay alive and now must root for Green Bay to beat Minnesota. For Darrell Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long now to Kurt Menefee and the gang in L.A.